Hello everyone, I'm Devalina Verman and 5th SEM biomedical engineering student. My topic will be on in first order logic in AI, inference in first order logic, planning and acting in the real world, uh, knowledge representation, and another is the classical planning. So guys, let's start on the topic, the first order logic. First order logic is basically expressive version of propositional logic. Propositional logic where it has a functions on the true or false of the statement. That means that will be looking on that it is the function of the statement is true or false. But in first order logic, it will be more expressive and it will be looking for that what is the relation between them, or that will be looking for the relationship between the objects and its attributes. It is the advanced version. Now we will be talking of the inference first order logic. Inference first order logic is a deduction of new statement from the given or the known statement. That means the new statements or the facts will be extracted from the known statement and it will be having more features. It having the components that are used that are knowledge base and another is the inference rule. The knowledge base, it will be having the knowledge of the rules and the actions that are known to the environment, means it will having the knowledge of the previous or the given statement. And in the inference rule, it will be working on the facts, rules, and it will look forward or go to get the goal state. They will be working on it, and there are two process that they will be working in two processes, that's a forward chaining and another is backward chaining. Now we will be discussing on the topic. We will be discussing on the differentiations of propositional logic and the first order logic. The propositional logic, on the basis of the structure, it having the propositions, whereas the first order logic, it have the predicates, variables, constants, and in expressive way, expressionness will be more in first order logic as compared to the propositional logic. And in case of the inference rule, it will be having the advanced version or advanced rule will be followed in the first order logic, and in propositional logic, it will be having the limited rules will be followed. And in case of the computational complexity will be more in first order logic, as because it will having advanced version and will be looking for the more actions, so it will be the computational complexity will be high in first order logic, and for the propositional logic, it will be low as compared to the first order logic. And we'll be talking now about the importance. The importance of the inference in the first order logic, it's essential for the reasoning and the decision making, and it will be having a dispensable for reasoning in complex real world domain, and its ability to represent the relationship, handle the quantification, how the by using the logical conclusions, make it a cornerstone of the knowledge based systems in AI. Expert system, automated theorem, proving the NLP, that is the natural language programming, decision making, and beyond it having the importance. And we'll be knowing the applications. It having applications in NLP, that is the natural language programming laws, then in robotics, and in database, healthcare, etc. Now we will be talking about classical planning. What is the classical planning? It's of making actions and the plans on plans to get goal state from the initial state. The actions or the plans will be made on the basis of the algorithms used in it. The main algorithms that are used: PDDL and goal set and STRIPS, that is stands for the Stanford Research Institute Problem Solver. And I will be discussing of the importance of and the purposes of the two modelings used in the modeling language that have been used in AI, that is the PDDL and STRIPS. PDDL, it has been using to define the problem, whereas STRIP is that's stand for the Stanford Research Institute Problem Solver. It will be working on the actions, rules, states, and the components that are involved in this classical planning, that are goal, initial state, goal state, actions, state space. And the assumption of the classical planning: deterministic actions, static action, and sequential action, and full observability. Now we will be little bit discussing about assumption of the classical planning. We will be discussing little bit on the deterministic action. In deterministic action, where the actions will be already predicted and it will be taking action on the prediction, whereas the static action, it will not be moving or it will be having static actions. And in sequential action, it will be acting or having actions on the basis of in a sequential way, whereas the full observability, it will be knowing about the result. So knowing about the result means it will be acting on backward chaining. So using the backward chaining technique, it will be working on it full observability. And the common algorithms that are used, that is BFS, that is the breadth first search, depth first search, A star, greedy search, and the graph set, and other graph plan and set plan, that are used commonly used in the algorithms. And for the breadth first search and the depth first search, that it will explore the state space, and whereas A star will be optimize the path cost, and grabs plan and set plan, it will be handling the constraints and the optimism of the search problem. Processes of the classical planning, that are defining the problem, search for the problem, generate the plan, refinement, plan execution, monitoring, and replanning. We will little bit discussing on this topics. First is the defining the problem. Defining the problem, that means we will be knowing that it will be working on the deterministic way. Deterministic action will be taken in defining the problem. Then search for a plan means here we will be using the algorithms that we have discussed above, or early we have been discussing it. For a search plan, the algorithms will be using, and generate the plan will be means we will be working on the plan, we will be getting the result. If we are not getting the result, we will be using the plan refinement. Through plan refinement, we will be taking more plans or make more plans to execute and having the result. That means plan execution, in where we will be executing that valid plans. And for monitoring and replanning, in here we will be looking that our valid plan have been working properly or not. Now we will be talking about the planning acting in real world. What do you mean by planning and acting in the real world? Yes, the planning and acting it plays a great role in taking a decision in a right way. Means in a thinking in a good processing and getting of the result. It's the main motive of planning and acting in the real world. Planning and acting are done to get a optimum result through which we can get a optimum result. Planning involves goal setting, search information, research information gathering, source assessment, strategy development, assignment, risk assignment, and implementation planning. Now, little bit we will be discussing about the goal setting. Goal setting, in which we need to select the goal, and after that researching and the information that involves in planning means we will be getting all about the informations that we will be using to get the goal set. And research assessments, it's a most important thing because it is eligible or through which we can get the result. And the strategy development is also an important thing, as because we think that without making strategy anyone cannot get any goal, or they cannot go from the initial to they cannot get the goal state without having any strategy development. Now we will be discussing about the risk assessment. Risk assessment is also important because how much risk will be taken, or how much risk can be occurred due to the due to using of this plan, or to get over the risks we can use other plans so that the less risks can be affect our plan or affect our goal. Now after looking of all the things, then we will be implementation of the plan. It is also important because without plan we cannot act, and um, through plan we can act in a uh, good way or in a good path, so to get a optimum result. Now let talk about the acting involvement. Acting involvement will be execution of the actions, real-time adaptation, and learning from the actions. That are all the things that are involved in acting. Execution of the acting, it will be only based on the plans that we have taken, and the real-time adaptation and the learning from the actions are also important because it means any changes or the things that we are learning that come up from after learning, that of what can be the outcomes, so that it is also an important task in daily life. Now we will be discussing on the importance of the planning and acting in EM. Yes, it is having a importance that in goal achievement, optimized decision making, adaptability, and the responsiveness, and resource management, enhancement power performance, and the accuracy and scalability. That are all the importance of the planning and the acting in the EM. Rather than that, we'll be looking on the challenges that faced by the planning and acting in real world, that is dealing of the complexity. Yes, in the real world, yes, dealing of the complexity is the main problem because the environment is completely enclosed by the more complexation and multiple agents. When the multiple agents act in an environment, that they have to be eligible to connect themselves, and to act in a optimum way, they have to deal with the complexity of the real world. And second is that ethical consideration is also important because ethically sometimes it cannot get out of the problems. So ethically we have to be more considerate in making of the decision, taking or making of the plans and actions on the basis of it. Dependency is also a big problem because on the basis of the data they will be they will be have that challenge or decision making will be based on the data dependency. And if we get the less information or the not ethical one, then they will be getting problem through this, or decision making will be delaying, and correct decision making will be not be held because of getting off that not correct data. Now let's talk about the advantage of planning acting in the real world. Planning acting in the real world, it have advantages in goal oriented behavior, efficiency and optimization, complex task management, adaptability, learning and improvement, increase autonomy. Little bit we know that about all these things, because planning and acting is really an important thing to deal with the real world. And now we will be looking for the disadvantage. That here disadvantages that are inflexibility, that the inflexibility of the planning and acting in the real world, it's a great problem because of a great problem. And computational complexity because of dealing with the multi-agent problems or the multi problems that will be acting in this acting or deal with the AI system. And limited understanding and of the environment, this is also an important problem we can see, because dealing with understanding for the AI is a great problem through this. For dealing with the environment, they have to be more compatible, means more knowledgeable, and have to be more advanced in this version to get out of the environment through understanding this knowledge. And dependency on the data quality, yes, dependency on the data quality, that we have discussed, that the challenges they have been facing, because if they get unethical, or that the data base in a means non-efficient, then they will be not getting that ultimate they will be not having that ultimate situation, or the ultimate decision making problems will be occurring. Now we will be talking on the knowledge representation. What do you know by the knowledge representation? Knowledge representation, it deals with the reasoning, learning and the decision making process. And by the effective capturing and utilizing the knowledge, AI can understand the complex environment, interact with the human more naturally, and solve the problems in a manner that resembles the human cognition. In the recent AI report, I have learned that it has been dealing with the more complex problems, and so using this the knowledge representation, we can get through important we can get to know that about important things, and we can deal with the environment by learning. And thank you guys for listening me, and have a good day.